Hey folks, what's up? Dog Man here. I decided to come back on and tell y'all another story. I don't know what happened to my phone after this thing showed up a couple more times. Now my phone don't, I have no, on my video it's black. There's nothing I can do about it. I've tried everything. I don't know what you can see right now. If you can see anything till after I do the video. And I don't know what's going on, folks. My dog's acting fucking weird. He keeps jumping up and running around like something's pinching him or something, or he don't have fleas no more. We got rid of the fleas. And he keeps looking at me funny like he's gonna attack me for some reason, and then he'll come running to me all scared and like a little puppy, and he's having mood swings for some reason, and I don't know if this stuff's got something to do with it or not, but I'm going to tell you folks about the time I was visited by a reptilian. And I think it might be happening again. It's hard to talk about, people, unless it's happened to you. You don't know. You don't know, and I don't know, man. I probably shouldn't even be telling you people this shit. But I'm going to tell you, one time I was sitting on my bed upstairs in my bedroom when I was like 14 years old. I'm not 100% sure if I was 14 or 13 or 12, you know, but I was somewhere around 14, I'm pretty sure. And because I was smoking a cigarette, and I don't think I really started smoking cigarettes till I was like 14 or something, you know. And I'm 56 now, folks, so anybody out there can relate to my age group time period that I'm talking about here, you'll know I don't know about anybody younger than that, if y'all grew up the same way or not. I know my Hanyak, little brats, spoiled ass kids, never mind, I'm getting off subject here, but they're the only ones I ever told this story, my ex-wife and my kids, and I told it on Richard Bruce's channel on YouTube one time. I told him my story about the reptilian. Well, anyway, I'm sitting on my bed. I'm listening to Rush 2112, my second album. I remember my first album was Leonard Skinner Pronounced. My second album was Rush 2112. I'm sitting there listening to Rush 2112, smoking a cigarette, sitting on my bed, on the end of my bed, kind of, you know, my feet on the floor. I can't remember if I was dressed or if I was sitting there putting my boots on or something. But just out of nowhere, folks, this thing appeared, and for years I didn't know what it was. Like I said, I was about 14 years old, and I'm sitting there and I'm just listening to that music, and all of a sudden this thing pops right in front of me, and it just looks me dead in the eye, and I'm paralyzed more or less, you know, and it grabs me by the arm and takes the cigarette's in my mouth. It takes my cigarette out of my mouth. It pulls my arm. It's so strong, folks. When it looked at you and you locked eyes, you knew you were nothing. This is how I always said it. You felt like you weren't even there, like you wasn't even, you know, nothing. You couldn't do nothing. This thing was so strong, you couldn't do nothing. Today, I'm a man, and as strong as I've ever been, from lifting weights and everything at my peak, strongest ever, I couldn't even begin to think about fighting with this thing. That's how strong this thing was, and you just knew it just by looking at him. I'm trying to remember what color his eyes were, man, but I'm really, seems like they were a greenish, yellowish, goldish. Man, it was a wild looking. You looked in them eyes, you couldn't take your eyes back off, man. You were locked, period. Anyway, this thing took my cigarette out of my mouth, and it pulls my arm out like that straight, turns my forearm up, and it puts that cigarette out, sitting there twisting and burning that cigarette real slow in my arm, laughing at me the whole time, man. And I don't know how long it took, but it seemed like a long time to me. And then all of a sudden, it was gone just as fast as it was there. But the only reason I know it was real and it was there, because I had a hole in my arm from that damn cigarette. It hurt like hell, and it was about 3/8 of an inch deep. I'm not kidding you. I had a scar forever, and I'm 56 now, and I can't find the scar because I got dog bites and holes and puncture wounds and scratches and scrapes and cuts, and I can't be for sure right where it was, but excuse me, going off memory, you know, I kind of look, and there's kind of some places there, but it could, like I say, it could be a dog bite or anything now. After all these years, all the things that happened to me, hell, I've had my arm broke clear off before, my other arm, my right arm. I've had 2 neck surgeries. I've been beat to hell and back, folks. But, yeah, all my kids grew up. I treated them good. I didn't have shit when I was growing up. I treated them real good. Made sure they had everything. Bought a boat, took them to the lake a couple times a week. You know, went fishing all the time, took them out hunting with me. My daughters worked on cars with me all the time. I got one son. He ended up turning out to be a little asshole. But anyway, folks, I've got a lot of things going on again in the supernatural part of my world, and I got a lot of fucked up shit going on in my family part of my world from coming out and talking about these things, and I knew it was going to happen. And anyway, folks, back to the story. This thing disappeared just as fast as it came, and for years I told myself, because I only told this story a couple of times to a couple of different people, and I can't even remember, you know, for sure. But I know I've only told a few people for sure. And now I'm telling the world. I went down to look at the house where this happened, and the house is no longer there. I want to go and talk to some neighbors, and I've talked to some people that know some of the people that live around there now, and none of the same people live around there anymore. So I don't know if the house burnt down or if they just tore it down, if it was a porthole and shit like that happened to other people there. I don't know, folks, but I can tell you one thing: when that thing showed up there, locked onto me like it did, I never seen nothing like that before, and I'd seen some things before. And I can't remember ever seeing nothing like that before. And I can't never remember seeing anything like that since. But I'm going to tell you, the thing looked like kind of like a human-sized human body, kind of, but scales and very muscular, like this girl I knew, she had what was that, some kind of damn lizard from Australia or something. Shoot, I can't even remember the name now. But anyway, man, it had some kind of suit on. It had some kind of a uniform, what I'm trying to say. It was, I always said it reminded me of some military officers, get up. I always said it must have been some kind of royalty or some kind of high-ranking whatever it was. And I always thought it was a demon. you know, and I'm not sure if that wasn't exactly what it is. Don't know. I think it's part of the big deception myself, folks. This is the year of deceit. It's the year of the grand deception. It's all been foretold. There's going to be a false alien invasion. And I think this is all part of leading up to making people believe all this shit. So when it does come down, that we'll be kind of pre-programmed for this, you know. But then again, I'm sometimes wonder if I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't ever get the answers that I want in my whole life. I have these things happen and I don't get no answers, man. It's mind-boggling. I don't care who you are. It'll drive you freaking crazy, man. You gotta let it go. You gotta go on and do other things and forget it, because if you don't, it'll drive you freaking, like it's doing me right now with the Mandela effect and all this shit and all these things that happen to me and all the things I keep remembering. I told a story about out there on Will Ridge, and man, I'll tell you, I was remembering one thing and now I'm remembering something totally different, man. And I don't know how to tell these stories. I'm not good at explaining this kind of stuff, and all I can tell you, folks, it's crazy. It's crazy out there, all this paranormal stuff coming down. I'm trying to be a Christian, and man, it's really hard with all this crazy satanic sun worshiping, devil worshiping, CERN crap, and the opening ceremony of the Gothard Tunnel. If that wasn't devil worshiping, satanic, trying to bring the end of time on, I don't know what was, folks. Anyway, this got kind of long here, folks. I'm going to have to shut this off. I'm sorry about all the rambling, but I'm really, bear with me, folks. I'm trying to be as real as I can. Dog man out. Peace out, everybody.